Okay, so eBay cheated me. The 7805s on the circuit. My phone was saying it was only pulling 230 milliamps. Max was 360 milliamps. So I hooked up my digital multimeter and I set up a standalone 7805 with the cap, and I wired in a 10 ohm resistor, which would pull 2 amps at 5 volts, and the meter says it's only pulling half an amp, so that's 500 milliamps. So these 7805s are supposed to be L7805CV, and I looked up the specs, and the specs state that there should be 1 amp to 1.5 amp peak with 1 amp consistently, and that's not happening. So I don't know what that's all about, but that's what it is. So I guess this charging bank's only going to be half amp, 500 milliamp, which is like a small charge. A lot of car chargers and stuff are only 500 milliamp coming out of the USB. Your computer ports are 500 milliamp, so I think what I'll do, I'm going to finish this and put it all together. It'd be good for the kids charging, but these regulators are not going to work for any of these projects that I'm doing. So, but since I got my power supply all hooked up, might as well show you. I got just turn the power off. We have 12 volt, 5 volt, 3 volt fuse holders. I need to get fuses. This one's only got a wire shoved in it. Here's my ground wire. I could probably put a black one on there, but I'm not mixing them up. So there's my ground. And then I have a switch 12 volt on and off, and switch 5 volt on and off. And then I also have a USB output. And this is a 5 volt jack. This is a 12 volt jack. I need to get labels, make some labels and put some labels on there, which I do have some somewhere. This is ground, 3 volt, 5 volt. It's actually 3.3 volt, 5 volt, and 12 volt. These are not switched, but these are switched. That way, when I'm working, instead of having to shut the power supply off, I can just shut the switch off, or instead of having to unplug something. So my red light, the red light is on all the time, telling you that it's plugged in, and green light is on and working and regulated. So internally there's a 10 ohm resistor at 5 volts, or at 12 volts, because the 12 volt rail has the most current available. So 12 volts divided by 10 ohms is 1.2 amps. So that regulates it and allows it to power up properly. And it's 10 amp on the 12 volt rail. So I have 9 amps of available 12 volt power, or 8.8, but that's it.